Shalom and welcome everyone to the ICEJ weekly webinar. We're so glad you've joined us. I'm David Parsons, Senior Vice President and spokesman for the International Christian Embassy Jerusalem, coming to you from our TV studios in the Israeli capital. And today we're talking about, is the war with Iran over? Looks like we're getting closer to a deal ever since President Donald Trump announced the ceasefire in the war against Iran back on April 8th. The world has been anxiously awaiting to see whether the war would get renewed or would we get to, would the fight come to an end? And Iran is still very defiant, claiming they've won, and they've slow-walked these negotiations being mediated by Pakistan. Yet a deal does seem closer than ever right now. We're recording 2 days before we go to air, so we'll have to keep that in mind as we talk about all this with our guest, Dr. Mordechai Kedar. It's good to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
Always a pleasure to have you. He's one of Israel's leading scholars and experts on Arab affairs, on the history of Islam. Formerly served in the IDF Army Intelligence, Amman, and then a lecturer at Bar Ilan University for many years. You're with the Besa Center, a fellow there, the Begin Sadat Center, and one of the founders of Newsreel. How do people go to that?
Yeah. Just Google it, and you'll find it is, in my humble view, the best source of information and analysis about Israel, about the Middle East, about Iran, the best newsreel.
Newsreal, sort of playing off.
R-A-A-L. Newsreel.
Newsreel has Israel in it. Okay, yeah. Go to that. It's a great source for
it's on all the platforms. It's on iPhone, it's on Android, it's on Windows and iOS.
Okay. And Mordechai, I appreciate it. You're a straight talker. You get right down to the bottom line so much, but we've got a really complex situation involving the U.S., Israel, Lebanon, all these other countries, Iran, Pakistan, China, Russia, and the whole global economy wrapped up in all of this. And so there's a lot to try and unpack in the time we have. But the U.S. talks with Iran, they've drug out for weeks now since the ceasefire on April 8th. But it does look like the sides are closer than they have been, getting closer to a deal. Do you see it happening in the days ahead? And how bad, what you understand about what's taking shape, how bad might it be for Israel?
Well, first of all, we have to remember that Iran never won a war, but never lost negotiations. So they might defeat you in the negotiations room rather than in the battlefield. And still they came out from the whole crisis much stronger. That's one thing. Second thing, I think that the world has already known that no agreement which the Iranians will sign is valid more than the paper which is printed on. Why? They are, I would say, compulsive liars. And the whole world knows it. Everybody who sat with them and negotiated with them came to any kind of agreement, they never implemented. And yet there is a way how to know when they lie and when they don't.
Their lips are moving.
You're right. But if whatever they say can be verified, let's say today is Tuesday. Mm-hmm. An Iranian will never tell you that today is Wednesday or Monday, because you can go to the calendar and find out. So he will always say the truth when it comes to information which can be verified. However, when it comes to information which cannot be verified, like do they continue to enrich uranium in secrecy or not? This is where they lie. They will say no while they do, or many other things. Things which cannot be verified to the end. They are most likely will say something and do something else. Why? Because you cannot find them. You cannot locate the problem. You cannot verify what they say. Therefore, they feel that they can do whatever they like. Their commitment is nothing. Why? Because they think in the idea of taqiya. Taqiya in Arabic means the ability to make face in order to keep your head connected to your shoulders. So we can lie in order to stay alive. So this is the way.
This is Islamic principle. You can lie to a non-Muslim if somehow it promotes your interests as a
Right,
Muslim.
you're not committed to say the truth if the truth puts you in a delicate or sensitive or a danger. So, since they want to continue with their nuclear programs, no doubt, missile program, no doubt, they will lie about their advancements about this thing. So this is it's something which everybody should remember. But the problem with the war and the next war, which is only a matter of time, is the fact that the Iranian regime feels that they won the war. They don't look at the casualties. They don't look at the Air Force, which was totally destroyed, the Navy, which was totally destroyed. They don't look at the missile program, which was damaged heavily. They don't look at the nuclear program, which was also damaged. They look at one thing. They survived as a regime.
Which is common to the Middle East. Arafat, every time he survived, he won.
They survived. Secondly, they don't only survive, they can continue to kill their own people, as they did in January and December last, and killed who knows how many dozens of thousands of people. And unfortunately, from our point of view, any agreement or any set of requests which was given by the United States and other negotiators, never people talk about human rights in Iran. There are demands about the nuclear program. There are demands about the missile program. About Hormuz Straits. There are many demands. No, not even one time they were demanded to honor human rights. The Iranian people feel that this is a betrayal of the free world. That the free world does not at least say something, demand something, ask something, as if the Iranian regime never killed anybody in the streets.
Yeah, it was disappointing. Trump said we're on the way, and then
help is on the way.
And in all these talks, there's nothing about not attacking your own people.
The world forgot about this, and this is something which, in my view, is actually a moral stain on the West, which enjoys freedom. As we sit here, we enjoy freedom, but the West does not even ask Iran to do something.
Yes.
To become more humane compared to what they are, and this is a real disappointment for me personally. However, the Iranians think that they won because, first of all, they are directed by Allah. And they are in a jihad against the American swine eaters and the Jewish wine drinkers. And they are the believers, while we are apostates.
They raised this black flag at this certain holy place.
The jihad.
For jihad, the black flag.
Look,
for jihad.
they are more than sure that they are in a jihad between the good and the evil and the Satans. Look, America is the big Satan. We are the small Satan. So they are actually in a state of mind of fight between the good and the evil. They are the good and we are the evil. This is what they think. And the good won because the evil did not succeed to topple the good one. So this is the first thing. Not only this, Allah tests them if they will be loyal to Allah in spite of all the hardships, in spite of the American and the Israeli bombs. Okay, this is very important point, which I believe that most of our viewers don't think in this way. But this is how the Iranians think.
You're talking here like a hudna where you can announce a ceasefire if you are weak. If you're weak and you need time to strengthen again.
Of course.
They might be close to that now.
It is, it's called in the Islamic discourse, the Peace of Hudaybiyah. Peace of Hudaybiyah is something which Muhammad gave to the temporary peace. He gave to the infidels of Mecca for almost 10 years, and he violated it only after 2 years,
2 years, yeah.
when they thought that they are safe and sound for at least 8 more years. So this is the precedent that you can give the infidel as a Muslim. You can give him a temporary peace, and you can breach it whenever you think that
You're strong enough.
you're strong enough and the enemy is weak enough. So this is another thing. Then they succeeded to ignite the whole Middle East. They attacked the Emirates, the Bahrainis, the Abu Dhabi, the Saudi Kingdom,
Even Qatar.
Qatar, the bosom buddy, and Kuwait, let alone Azerbaijan, even Turkey. They tried to target the Incirlik airbase. Cyprus, they look. This is totally opposite from the logic, because when a state has a war, it tries to reduce the number of fronts which it has to fight, and here they ignite many more fronts with all these countries, threatening the world, but with the prices of oil and gas, and creating a crisis, a financial crisis in many countries, which cannot buy energy these days. And it has implications on food prices, and every state in the world is affected by this war, thanks to the fact that they decided to ignite the war in other countries. They also succeeded to block international water, the Hormuz Straits.
Yeah, this was a real surprise that they were so effective at it.
And they said, and they warned before the war that this is going to be the step. So, if you look at all these things, and in spite of all the casualties, in spite of targeting their leadership, in spite of targeting all the army and so forth, they sustained, they survived, and they can do whatever they like in the Hormuz Straits, to the other countries. And you know what? I believe that they can even hit American vessels. If they know where they are, they can...
They fired at them and said they were hit some, but the U.S. said, no, you haven't touched us.
Well, what if, God forbid,
Yeah.
they succeed to really hit one, let's say...
Aircraft carrier. It would be a disaster.
It will be disaster. So this is why they think that they won the war. They don't count casualties.
Besides all that, very deeply held religious belief, almost it is an apocalyptic expectation they have of an end-time jihad where they finally conquer the world. You also they've strung the U.S. out, claimed victory, been defiant, spreading fear still across the region. We're going to attack again if you even touch us. But besides all these deeply held religious beliefs in Islam and their apocalyptic expectations of an end-time war, they also know that President Trump is under pressure. He's losing support in Congress for the war. He's got the World Cup coming up, the 4th of July, America's 250th, the midterm election. So they know he's a little handcuffed himself. So they've strung out these talks. They're ready to go to war again because they don't think Trump will go the distance. And this, I think, is part of their thinking and understanding why they're being so defiant. And even if Trump's only there 2 more years, is there another president in the wings that's going to really stand up to him like he's done? So they're playing for time as well.
Not only this, in every struggle between a dictatorship and a democracy, the dictatorship, by definition, is stronger than the democracy.
Has an advantage.
Because the democracy has all kinds of restrictions.
Yes.
First of all, to be proportionate. You cannot, bomb a whole city only because one soldier was injured. Okay. Secondly, a democracy has every 4 years, more or less, a clock which the leader has to give account to the people, and he will be ousted if he fails. Dictators don't face this craziness of every 4 years to go to elections. They are there forever until they are being shot dead. But so this is a weak thing. Then you have public opinion. You have a Congress which should block the budget,
Yes.
just like what happened with Vietnam. So they know the weak points of Trump. Look at this. Not only this, the Iranians are very steady. Their demands to stop the war, to withdraw everything, to have compensations, to include Lebanon, to enable them to enrich uranium, all these things are almost constant in every paper which they gave, all these things. Look at the on American side. Ultimatum of 2 days became ultimatum later for a week. Then it came another 10 days. Then another 2 weeks. Means ultimatum means that there is an end. Yes. But this is an endless ultimatum, which actually is useless. It's meaningless. So they sit and they laugh.
Yes.
They laugh at what happens in
They
America.
think Trump is bluffing.
No, they don't know what he wants.
Yeah.
They know what they want. And they are more than sure that every advisor pulls him to another direction.
Yes.
They have one man to make the decisions. It's Mujtaba Khamenei or Wahidi, the head of the IRGC.
Yes.
They don't hesitate. They don't change their mind. They have a very steady standpoint. And they know what they want, and they demand what they want. What do the Americans want? Nobody knows. Because if you read the paper which the American would accept on Sunday, it's totally different from Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. So they are, in my humble view, they're making fun out of the American side with all the power, all the ships, you know. And in the American society, how many percent are against the war in America?
It's around 60%.
Here you are, a majority, clear majority against the war, and they know it. So they're trying to drag the whole thing as long as possible in order to get us close to the midterm elections. Meanwhile, the trend of objection against the war in the American society increases, so they win by points, if not by knockout. So this is their strategy, to drag you, to postpone, to buy more time, because time works for them. Meanwhile, they renew the nuclear program, the missile program, the other things. They renew their abilities, while the Americans are losing legitimacy to do anything against Iran. So this is how they see it. They more than sure that the time works for them.
Yeah. You know, I have taken a few trips abroad in recent weeks. We're finally able to travel some. And about 2 or 3 weeks after the ceasefire started, we flew to Singapore. As I'm going through Ben Gurion, I see maybe 25 of these American refueling planes, others C-130, whatever, painted gray with the American flag on the tail. But I just came back from a trip to Prague, and there were more than 50 this time. It was even, that told me something's up. But it does look like we're moving towards some sort of deal. There's apparently a memorandum of understanding to extend the ceasefire for another 60 days. And they're just working on the language, Secretary of State Marco Rubio says. But it's very vague from what we understand about the nuclear issue. It'll be taken care of later. Iran can string that out. It does not deal with the missiles, ballistic missiles, which Israel wants limits and on manufacturing and deployment of those, and especially the cluster munitions, these cluster warheads. It doesn't deal with some of the other issues, the support and arming of proxy militias. So what is apparently being worked out right now with Israel sidelined from the talks, it's not good for Israel. And this must be a frustration for you, for the Israeli people, that they don't really have a say in what's coming out of this negotiation.
Definitely, Israel or the Israeli people feel that something was missed in this war. First of all, the regime survived, unlike the expectations for this regime to collapse. Secondly, we never heard neither Netanyahu nor Trump calling upon the Iranian people to strip to the streets again in order to do something into the regime.
They were waiting for a signal. It's never
They are
come
waiting
yet.
and they are still waiting. Because everybody there still remembers what happened in December and January.
Yes.
Who knows how many dozens of thousands of people got killed or butchered in the streets. And nobody sees any real support in the streets. Look, if you hit the nuclear program facility in Isfahan, for example, or Fordo, what good does it do to the men in the street in Tehran?
Yes.
It doesn't make any difference for the Basij who use the rifles. And in order for the regime to survive, they don't need an air force, they don't need a navy, they don't need missiles or a nuclear program. All they need is a Kalashnikov rifle in the hands of the Basij in the street and a permission or an order to shoot freely against demonstrations. This is what they need.
Against their own relatives, I think.
So
this
the
is
fact that Israel and the United States got rid of their Navy, Air Force, missile, and nuclear program doesn't make a difference for the people in the street for the decision whether to run to the street again or not. Because the Basij are waiting for them with the Kalashnikov rifles or with machine guns.
Yeah. I think the ultimate answer, and the question is the war with Iran over, the best answer, and the war would be over if you had true regime change brought about by the people themselves to set the country on a different direction. But do you think within their society and all, that hardcore is willing to slaughter millions of its own people? Because most reports say that 80–90% of the people are against the regime now. They want to topple it.
Definitely. But you know,
Even their own relatives, they're ready to gun them down.
people without weapons, in every encounter between any number, small number of people with weapons against others, even big numbers without weapons, those with weapons will win because they can kill. So this is the situation. Another solution could be, apart from regime change, is a dismemberment of the state. And as you know, Iran is not one ethnic group. There is no Iranian nation. There are many nations in Iran. There are Persians, who are the hegemons. There are Azerbaijanis, who speak Turkish. There are Arabs in the Ahwaz area, southwest part of the country. There are Kurds in the northwest part of the country. There are Baluchis in the south, and the Turkmens in the northeast. And in addition to small groups like Mazandaranis, Caspianis, Bakhtiaris, Luris, Kashkais, and many more. There are like dozens of ethnic groups in Iran only. Iran, in my humble view, will, at some point in the future, will be dismembered,
Balkanized. Like
Sovietized,
Sovietized.
because the Soviet Union fell apart to 15
Like
countries.
Yugoslavia, though.
Yugoslavia,
Held together by a strong man. but
Czechoslovakia.
fell apart.
Czechoslovakia was divided according to ethnic lines, just like the Soviet Union.
But that was by an agreement. This would probably be through some sort of
It
struggle.
could be in civilized way, like in Czechoslovakia. It could be with massacres, like in Yugoslavia, ex-Yugoslavia. Soviet Union fell apart in a civilized way. Today you have Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Russia, Ukraine. Okay. Ukraine had two groups, the Russian and the Ukrainian. That's why Ukraine still suffers until this very day. But all the others are homogeneous, more or less, units. This is why these countries are stable and flourishing. Azerbaijan, which was also under the Soviet rule. Iran will be divided as well in the future,
Eventually.
just like the Austro-Hungarian empire, like the Ottoman Empire, like all the empires which ever were in the world, which fell apart according to ethnic lines at the end of the day. Iran is not free from this fate as well.
Similar to Iraq, which the Kurds in the north have a decent level of autonomy up there.
Of course.
And it's also in Syria.
It's not only a matter of autonomy. The Kurdish district in the north of Iraq behaves in a totally different way compared to the Arab
All
side.
different policies. They're friendly to Israel. They give Israel
course.
oil.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that Iran one day, and I have no idea when it will happen, and I have a proof. I, like 4 years ago, published an article on the Jerusalem Post about this thing in Iran, which will be divided one day. 2 days later, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Iran published on Twitter a whole article, like 300 words, against me, mentioning me by name, and claiming that I know nothing about Iran.
You know how to make waves, Mordechai.
Iran is consolidated, Iran is united, Iran is, and nobody thinks about this, about dismemberment of Iran. And Mordechai Kedar is speaking nonsense. And I ask you, David, if I wrote nonsense, would the man feel that he has to write down, to sit down and to write a 300-word article against me? No. He has what to do. Okay? He felt that he has to refute what I say only because it was a true. It was a truth.
Yeah.
And and I touched a very aching nerve in the Iranian body politic, the ethnic problem.
But the problem with that, you have all these disparate people spread in different regions of the country, and there's no real unity among them to stand up to that central regime.
Of course. They hate the central regime because the central regime oppresses them. You know, in the schools, in the Kurdish and the other districts, which is non-Persian, the kids are not allowed to speak in their own language.
Local language.
They must speak in Persian, although Persian is a foreign language for them. To that degree, and many other things. They are marginalized in many issues, and not to mention the behavior, especially in the Ahwaz. The regime actually hangs them on cranes in the streets in order to deter everybody who thinks to do something against the regime. And not only this, the regime today is after the descendants who are all over the world. There are countries.
There's a Persian diaspora.
There are countries under Iranian pressure to deport the Iranian dissidents back to Iran in order to be hung up. And I know what I say because I am aware of something like this very closely.
Are some of these countries close to doing this? It would be a death warrant.
I hope not. Because those dissidents, if they are being given in to Iran, they will be tortured, first of all, in order to extract all the information which they carry, and within days they will be executed.
Yeah, we see them all over the world flying the old Iranian flag from the days of the Shah. And want the world to support them, and no one, it's not very strong support.
And I use this, this beloved pulpit in order to address the world, the civilized world. Every country should announce that any country which will give in Iranian dissidents to Iran, this country will be ousted, will be punished. That no country in the world is allowed to give in dissidents from Iran who are refugees usually on its soil. This should be a general calling for the civilized world. And those countries which think about this should be deterred by the civilized world.
So we just thank you, Mordechai, for really giving us insights into the mentality of the regime that the U.S. and other countries are facing now. It's very important. President Trump, we'll end on this. President Trump has tried to sweeten this memorandum of understanding that he's going for by saying the Saudis, even the Qataris, some of these Arab countries should join the Abraham Accords. Do you see any movement in that direction coming out of this anytime soon?
I would say that Saudi Arabia is closer to this than Qatar. Qatar, don't forget, is a country which pays for slay. Means pays to Hamas, pays to Muslim Brotherhood organizations, and therefore, as long as the Al Thani family controls Qatar or owns Qatar, I'm not foreseeing any real change in its policy vis-a-vis Israel. Saudi Arabia might is closer.
And they keep talking about an irreversible path to Palestinian statehood. That's the price they want to see. But
I think that the Saudis are talking about the Palestinian states only as a lip service for the Arab cause.
you know, when you're under Iranian missile attack, you're looking for any help you can get. Yeah.
So this is why they say it. And maybe they are saying it because of Iranian imposition. Because Iran wants a Palestinian state, even if it be beginning under the hegemony of the PLO, because Iran plans for this state to be taken by Hamas, either by elections, as already happened in January 2006, when Hamas won the elections, or by coup d'etat,
by coup, as in Gaza,
as happened in Gaza in June 2007. So this is why Iran wants a Palestinian state in order to create another Hamastan.
As a dagger in Israel's
into our heart.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's really helped me to understand the mentality.
We should emphasize a very important point. The war which Israel is in against the jihadism, whether the Iranian or Hamas or the Hezbollah in Lebanon, this war, if they win against Israel and Israel is defeated, within no time, they will be in Europe. And the Atlantic Ocean is not wide enough to protect America from the same fate. So Israel actually is fighting the war against jihadism, which threatens Europe and America alike. Therefore, I think that the civilized world should support Israel, because if not, it will be in their front yard.
Yeah, I think there's a reason that from the very start, this regime in Tehran has called the U.S. the big Satan and Israel the little Satan, because they knew from the start that they're the only two countries in the world that could really stand up to them, that everyone else is too naive and attached to, this dream of peace. Everything's peaceful now to really stand up to them.
Or too sensitive because of the Islamic migration, which can devastate the state from within.
No, this is Europe. It doesn't want to even get involved in helping open up the Strait of Hormuz because they're afraid of the Muslims in their own midst now, in big cities in large numbers.
Western Europe, I think, is gone. If you see the charts, America still can be saved. If Americans wake up in time to save America from the jihadism which migrates to America after they already conquered Western Europe.
Yeah. And that's a very sober way to end the show, but Israel has to stand strong and the world has to support Israel in this and their interests in defeating Iran and its proxies right now. We thank you for your time, Dr. Mordechai Kedar. Hope you've appreciated it, really understanding the ideology and the mindset of the Iranian regime that we're dealing with right now. It is not an easy nut to crack, but thank you, Dr. Kedar. So much. And that's our show for this week. We hope you've enjoyed it, gotten lots from it, and join us again next Thursday, 3 p.m. Israel time, for the ICGA weekly webinar. God bless you from Jerusalem.
Thank you for joining us today. Join us again next Thursday at 3 p.m. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on our social media platforms for more exclusive ICEJ content.